Hi dear students, today you all are warmly welcome to this Sri Lankan taxation video series conducted by Singa TV Sri Lanka. So we can start with the episode number 1 for introduction part of the Sri Lankan tax system. When it comes to the introduction part of Sri Lankan tax system, we better to understand basically why we do need to introduce a tax system in Sri Lanka. Yes, government is the monitoring body of Sri Lanka for funding on public expenditure. So it's their responsibility for collecting a revenue for doing that. The Sri Lankan government is now recognized the tax as a tool for collecting a revenue for funding on public expenditure. You know, tax is a historical concept which becomes a burden to the people of a country anyway. However, now it's very important to a country though it becomes a tax burden to the people. Currently, the entire world is using the tax system for collecting revenue. Other than that, they will be doing some other activities as well by using this tax system in a country. Say for an example, if the government wants to encourage some activities in the country, in a case like that, they will be reducing their tax rates on such activities. On the other way around, if they want to discourage some activities in a country, what they can do is they will increase the tax rate over such activities. For example, education, they will be reducing the tax rate on such activities. Liquor, they will be increasing the tax rate on such activities. Likewise, now all the governments are using tax as a system for controlling their countries as a whole. Now we can discuss about a tax. Actually, we have already discussed about a tax system. Now, by using that tax system, the government will be expecting to collect a revenue that is called the tax. Then here of course I have given the definition for you all to understand about a tax. It says that a tax is a financial charge or other levy imposed upon an individual or legal entity by a state or the functional equivalent of a state to fund various public expenditures. That means that system that they have imposed in a country is going to collect a revenue of tax by imposing such tax system on an individual or legal entity. Legal entity means simply a company or a partnership. So for what? Yes, the government is collecting such fund to incur various public expenditures. So further to that, we need to understand what the government has to do by using this collected tax revenue. Then it says that in a case of a government, it has to be engaged in primary or public, economic and social activity. What does it mean by? Yes, the government has now collected a tax revenue for funding various public expenditures. Here of course they have categorized what the public expenditures are. First activities category is primary or public activities, and the second category is economic activities, and the third category is social activities. Then basically you have an understanding about a tax system and about a tax. Now you know exactly what are the things that the government has to do for the public as well. Now we can learn about the main functions of taxation. As we have already discussed earlier, we have recognized three types of main categories of government functions. So here of course we are going to discuss about the things that the government has to do generally. So first thing is to collect sufficient revenue of tax for using in daily operations, investments and making reserves. That means once the tax income is collected, by using them the government has to incur their expenditures in these categories. for normal daily operations, for paying salaries like that, and they have to make some investments to have some investment returns in future, and they can allocate some amount for making reserves as well to use in future. Right, now we can talk about the functions of taxation in detail. First of all, I need to remind you that we have already discussed these functions of taxation earlier. Anyway, we will discuss one by one with some examples. First of all, we can go to the primary function. Then, secondly, we have the economic function, and the last function is the social function. Then we can go to the primary function first. So here of course we have listed some of the examples related to this, and we can try to understand this function by using those examples given here. So here it is listed those examples: security, law and order provided by the armed force and police, free education, free medical service, infrastructural provisions, road, electricity, water, etc. So here of course we need to emphasize here function is mainly providing the facilities to the people which is essential for their day-to-day life. And when it comes to the economic function, we have already discussed these given two examples: set local and foreign investment direction, protect local industries from foreign competitors. And finally, we have the social function, and this function is also very important. And here, of course, we have given some example for this as well. Discourage activities which are undesirable by the society, encourage activities which are desirable by the society, and the final example is to reduce income disparity between rich and poor. So when it comes to this first example and the second example, it says something discouraging some activities and encouraging some activities. As we have discussed earlier as well, discouraging activities means if the society is rejecting some activities, if they are not demanding some activities, then the government can increase the tax. So when it comes to this discouraging activities and encouraging activities, the government can decide whether the respective activity is important for the country or not. And there can be some activities where the public is going to be rejected from the society. So such activities we can discourage by increasing the tax rates. And there are some other activities in society which should be definitely encouraged, such as education and religious activity. So for them we can reduce the tax rate and we can give some additional concessions benefits as well. So when it comes to this last example given here, reduce income disparity between rich and poor. Now the taxation is not only cooperating for collecting revenue. Now here of course we can understand tax is a tool that we can use for doing so many things in the economy. So likewise reducing the disparity of between likewise reducing income disparity between rich and poor is also a fact that we can consider to control by using the tax tool. Then we can go to the mnemonic. That means we have created here a mnemonic for your easy reference and for your memorizing purposes, and the mnemonic is the PES, P-E-S. For the primary function we have taken P, and for the economic function we have taken E, and the social function we have taken S. After that we have created the mnemonic for you memorizing these three functions of taxation. Then the mnemonic is PES. Now you know exactly what does it mean by a tax system and what is the understanding of a tax and what are the functions of a tax system. Now the question we have is that do we have a good tax system in Sri Lanka or not? For that we have to check whether all the tax principles are complied by Sri Lanka's tax system or not. So we have here listed these all the principles, then we can check whether Sri Lankan tax system is a good one or not. Now there are 9 principles of taxation. So we will check what are the 9 principles we have. So first one is the progressivity, and and then we have the equity, adequacy, certainty, economic. Sixth one is stability, broad base. Eighth, simplicity, and the last one is the convenient and voluntary compliance. For memorizing these 9 principles, we have created a mnemonic for you. So PEACES and BSC. Pieces BSC is the mnemonic that we have created for you to make it easier to memorize for your exam. So this is the end of this episode number 1, and we are looking forward to present these 9 principles of taxation in detail with the episode number 2. So until that, if you have any doubt, you can contact us through the given WhatsApp number in the description below. Thank you.